Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this segment of psychic surgery that has been happening around the planet and cosmos forever. Many cultures, many ancient civilizations, and beyond have their ways of performing psychic surgeries in physical, spiritual, and energetic variations. Join us tonight as we share a variety of psychic surgery experiences that were received and or performed personally to us and our clients. We'll help you understand what psychic surgery is, what psychic surgery can do to and for you, and how to follow your own intuition to know what forms of psychic surgery feel right to you. And as always, stay through to the whole thing because we'll be doing our random light activation healing, many readings and healings. And if you join live, you'll get a chance to receive one. So just make sure that you're here, and we will be looking in the chat room to see who we're drawn to.
And I'm trying to get on the chat.
As part of tonight, we're going to also be talking about implants, alien implants, different things that have been removed psychic surgery wise. So it's going to be a broad spectrum of all kinds of things. So I'm sure you're going to learn a lot. And so we're really happy to be here. As usual, I'm Cindy Eyler.
And I'm Homer Castillo.
And this is Alma Young. And we're happy to invite her tonight. She's a dear friend of ours. She works with us. She works with us with our light activation healing classes and our journeys, and has been on many of the journeys with us as well. I've known Alma personally for, I think, almost 20 years. So we've had our own journey together as friends. And Alma, do you want to say something? Introduce yourself and mention some things about how light activation has been in your life, and then a little bit about your focus of your work.
So my name is Alma, and known Cindy for a while in Homer. And well, light activation has helped me in many ways. I mean, I've felt like I even introduced it into my own practice. I always tend to be drawn to using it with other people, and when I'm asked about it, I'm really excited to share about it. It's just something that really helps a lot of people. It helped me personally in my life. So from the very beginning, I was really drawn to it.
Yes, and you were in my first class in Hawaii, which was quite an interesting thing. So
and Laguna. Oh, was that? No, Laguna is when you introduced me to it. Yes.
Yeah, but you took the class in Hawaii in Kona.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So great. And then did you want to say something about your other work that you do?
I'm an angel soul portrait artist, and I'm a visionary artist. So I paint angels, and I also I channel spirit guides through my portraits. So just about all my paintings are very spiritual, so I also teach those classes. Obviously right now it's kind of on hold, but I also teach classes on how you can connect with your angels through art.
Yeah, she does awesome classes with angels and art, and her angel soul portraits are a big hit. I thought you had one behind you, or is your camera just not facing?
Yeah.
Wasn't facing me. What? No.
Well, that's one of your paintings.
Oh, there it is.
Some of my paintings.
So, and I have I have a lot of angels in my house that she's painted.
Yeah, she painted two for me.
I have many of them. So anyway, I just wanted to say that unfortunately I could not make it tonight. She had an unexpected emergency today. So our thoughts are with her, and she won't be able to make it. So you'll see her again probably, I don't know, in a week or two. I'm trying to remember which show she's coming back on, because I think next
Galactic Healing.
Galactic Healing. So
Mhm.
that'll be week after next. So yeah, she'll be back,
Mhm.
but unfortunately she can't make it tonight. But we're here and we're ready. So
Sending healing.
yeah.
Mhm.
So let's see. I'm happy to see in the chat a lot of friends that are back with us. I'm super happy to see you. Thanks for being here tonight. And we are excited to share with you. So let's get started. Yeah, comment and say hello to us if you're here, so we know you're here.
Mhm.
Okay. Homer, let's see. We're going to be talking about psychic surgery, past, present, and future. So I feel like it's a good place to start with something that has been, well, you're going to talk about past, but you're going to really talk about past too.
Yes.
So he's going to go
Ancient
to past,
past
and he's going to go to ancient. He's going to go to
and
present.
present. Yeah.
Yeah, so he has a little flow of experiences that he's going to kind of connect dots in some way to
Mhm.
bring it all to you. So listen to this because it's very interesting, and then we'll move on. I know Alma has some stories to tell. And of course, I'll have some stories to tell. But let's start with Homer, because he has a lot of different time periods of different types of psychic surgery. And yeah, let's just get into it. Go ahead, Homer.
Okay, where do I begin? Let's see.
I think you should begin with the most recent.
Most
The
recent?
most recent, but it's past.
Oh,
Okay,
okay,
so
so I could
he's
talk about
he's
that.
doing the past, and then the past before that, and then the ancient past before that. So he's doing past and going even beyond past. And then we'll bring it back to the present.
So I'll talk about when I was about 8 years old. I was very skinny. I was always sick. Uh, I was 8 years old, and then I got really sick. And then one night, and I remember my mom would tell me, anytime you're sick or you need help, just pray or ask, for help, which I did that evening. And later that evening, I got a visitation from, um, I would say it's a galactic surgery team, healing team. So these beings were very small, maybe about 6 inches tall. And I felt a whole bunch of them just walking all over me. And you know that movie Gulliver, or is it a movie Gulliver? Or
Yeah.
is that, yeah, Gulliver, where he had little people walking all over him? That's what it felt like, and it felt like they were putting these etheric string, like all over, like um, I don't know. It was like putting up a tent, but it was all over my body, and they were just working on me, and just I would feel them working on me, and I got to meet them, and they're known as the Mellets, and they're medical specialists, and their uniform, they look like surgeons. So both the male and female, they kind of look the same because they wear the same uniform. But they were just working on me, and they even gave me like a little bit of information about themselves at the time. So they said, we're just working on you in general. And then, because I remember I wrote it down in my notes when I was very young, scribbled notes. And they said, yeah, the brain specialist, we have blue caps. And for the baby specialist, we wear red caps. I said,
Whoa.
okay, so you're wearing the white ones. What does that mean? They said, just a basic surgery, healing. I said, okay. And I was just allowing it to happen. Like it felt so natural to me. It didn't feel scary whatsoever. I just allowed the process to just take place. And I woke up the next day, like really, I felt so rejuvenated and healed and just happy.
So, did you say how you knew to ask for help? Because back in those days, you didn't even know about your gifts and you weren't aware of the spirit realm that much. Like, how did you even know to ask? And this is, this is a really good point because
Mhm.
we don't realize, who we really are until we're later, usually. And in our cases, I think all of us,
Mhm.
had experiences, but we weren't aware of where we'd be today for sure. And so it's like, then how did I know how to even do that?
Yeah. So I mean, my family, we're Catholic, but we're not really Catholic.
You're
I
not
mean,
practicing.
yeah, I didn't even go to Catholic school or anything, so I didn't know anything about what being Catholic is. But my mom would always say, um, no, Allison, that's not how you spell it. But anyways, but she would just say, if you need help, just ask for help. My mom talked about the angels a little bit, so she didn't go into full detail. Just or you could talk to the angels, and I kind of did that too to some point. So I just put it out there. I said, God, please help me. I'm not feeling well. I mean, as what an 8-year-old would say. Um,
And
so
amazing that it makes me kind of laugh that you took notes back then, even.
yeah, it
Because
was like
Homer
scribble
is
notes.
Homer is a note taker, and his mom was a note taker. His mom was really meticulous about really keeping track of
She would
things.
record everything.
She really did. And even when she would I'd get something from her, it would be like specially folded in certain ways. And it was
Yeah.
just like the most organized you could ever imagine it being organized.
And you know what she did? My very first, I mean, I've been doing healings, but my very first official healing session, she recorded that. And I'm glad she did because that was like client number one. And then from there, it just kept, I kept adding it and adding names as I went along. And
Do you
um,
still do that?
yeah,
Wow. I should
I
have done that.
do. Like I record like how many sessions a person had. Um, well,
Wow.
with a few of them, I've worked on so many times. Like I got to the point where I don't even count it anymore. But they're like at the top of the list, and then it goes down.
Okay, so Homer, there's a question from Allison, and she says, at 8 years old, didn't that terrify you? At 44, it would terrify me.
No, I mean it it would feel like a kid, and if you were to meet Christmas elves, it didn't feel scary. It felt very natural. And like when you're laying on the bed and you could feel the bed going down a little bit. It was kind of like that, but there were a lot of them too. So it was like a whole group of them walking all over me. Um, it
So
didn't
would
scare
you
me.
say, were you wide awake or were you kind of lucid
That
or?
was that was the thing. So as far as I knew at that time, I was well, I was sick and I went to sleep. But when the surgery or the work that was being done on me, it was like I was very lucid. Yeah, I mean, even now I could still remember the details. So I was asleep, but also awake at the same time, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're kind of lucid. And so,
Hmm.
we're going to do a show on like lucid dreaming, astral traveling, because that stuff is really amazing. It's really real. And
Yeah.
also our soul travels. I'm getting chills. So it's like when we're soul traveling, when our body's asleep and doing the things that our soul can do it so freely and amazingly without the body.
Hmm.
So, this ties in with Jill's question. She says, that is incredible. Do you happen to know why some people who ask do not get a response, but others do? Thank you. And
Maybe they do. Maybe they did get a
maybe they
response.
did and they didn't realize it. Like Homer is tapped in, was pretty tapped in. He didn't maybe really
Well, to
understand what.
finish what Allison asked me, was I scared at 8? Well, I was already exposed to seeing things. I mean, I saw my mom's mom when I was maybe 5 years old, but my grandmother. So she had already passed. But there was one evening my mom saw my grandmother walking in the hallway, and my mom got all emotional and started to cry and was like, oh, like, arms stretched out. And then I saw the same thing. Like, I wasn't in the hallway, I was in my room, but I was sensing it too. And I saw the same thing. And I described to my mom, because I only knew my grandmother from maybe a few pictures. Well, at 5, I wasn't really paying attention, but I described my grandmother in detail to my mom. She said, "Yes, that's your grandmother."
Alma, that's like that movie you were telling me about. Mama, Mama.
Oh,
Never mind. Anyway.
No, what was that movie? I just watched that too.
Anyway, but okay, so going back to
Yeah.
Jill's question, why do some get responses but others don't? So also it could be a variety of reasons, and another reason could be is maybe they don't really believe. Maybe they need to learn to have a little more faith. But I do believe somehow we're always answered, and it may not be in the way that we think, or that we think it's going to come in a certain way, and we think that's the only way. And sometimes people just don't connect that it came from a different way, or what needed to happen in order to see some silver lining in the blessing. So
I mean, someone could have thought that was a dream. It felt like dream state, but the details that came through.
That too. And some people, like, even when I've had before in the past where people say they want a healing, and then when I send it, they're completely blocking it. And I'm like, okay, you say you want it, but you're energetically, like, you're putting up a huge shield, and I'm not going to play tug of war with you. Like, I'm going to respect your truest feeling on that you don't want that. And, you can work that out with yourself and come back. But at this time, I'm not going to bust through that to fight you with it. Right. Let's make it when you're real. So, when you're
and
ready.
Also, kids at a young age, they're a lot more open.
Right.
They could see things. They may see a castle with a dragon and so forth, and maybe they are seeing it.
And then Smitha says, when a child asks, it's so sincere, isn't it? No doubts, because the mother also was supportive about it. Exactly.
Yeah. So I was, I guess, really lucky to have supportive parents who were also intuitive.
Yeah, Taylor says she missed your story and she wished she could have heard it, but just come back and listen to the replay. But he's not finished yet. He's only at the
let me rewind it.
He's only at the tip of the whole process.
That was only one story. Yeah.
It's only part of the whole thing. So why don't you go ahead, Homer, and continue?
Okay, I guess I'll go into the psychic surgery in the Philippines.
Okay.
Okay, so for those that don't know what psychic surgery is, they do have it in the Philippines, but also in many other cultures. So it's not strictly just the Philippines.
And civilizations.
Different timelines. So in the Philippines, there are many people that have this ability. And people that do know what psychic surgery is, they may have seen books or maybe documentaries on it, or maybe shows. That's when, like, you can put your hand in someone's body and then do a surgery, like take things out. So I happen to know a few of them in the Philippines, and also my family in itself had similar abilities also.
So Homer,
yeah.
Why were you in the Philippines? Because you were born in the U.S. and your family was in the U.S. And how old were you? And how did you get involved in that?
Let's see. Well, I also stayed there. I lived there at one point when I was going to college. But on my recent visit, which was 2003, I did. I was able to connect with psychic surgeon, and one of the reasons how that came about is. One of them used to come here to the U.S., to Sausalito. No, not Sausalito, but I'll just say Marin County. So he used to do work here, and I forget the story. It's been so long, but we connected, and he was like an uncle to me. And I even went to some of his healing sessions, and he had them in Reno, Nevada, and he got stuck out there once, and I drove him back to California and stuff like that. He even stayed over with the other psychic surgeon at my home overnight. He needed a place to stay. So I got to meet him, and then I met his brother also, and his brother worked with the actress Shirley MacLaine before. I think Shirley MacLaine talks about him, his brother, in her book. But I did go to the Philippines, and I went there to learn about how they do it. And I stayed there for maybe about a week in their little compound or commune, whatever you call it. I don't know what you call it. And I was just witnessing psychic surgery sessions going on.
Okay, and then they asked you if you wanted one?
Oh, yeah, they did ask me if I
did
wanted
you
one.
need something done? Was something wrong with you, or you just did it for curiosity?
It was, well, I think I had a back issue at that time, but it wasn't something major. It was just like, oh, it hurts a little here. Maybe I'll have that done. But it wasn't my back that he worked on. He worked on my stomach. And yeah, it was really about curiosity, because here in the US, when psychic surgeons come here, if they do come here, their sessions are behind closed doors. They don't want anyone to see. But in the Philippines, that doesn't matter. Their sessions are out in the open. And where I was at in the Philippines, the local people there, for them to know that it's true, they have to see blood. If they don't see blood, then oh, it's fake. So in that neighborhood or
Regard.
province, yeah, that's what they want to see.
Okay.
So yeah, I did have it done. At first, it tickled. He worked on my stomach. It tickled, and I was laughing a little bit. Then all of a sudden, I could feel it going deeper, and I was like, ugh. It started to hurt a little bit, and then so I was laying down, and I lifted my head a little bit just to see, because I was curious. And he was pulling something out. I didn't know what it was, but I did feel something being pulled out, and I did see some blood. And then that was pretty much it. And then the blood disappeared. And I actually have a scar from it. I don't have it anymore, but at the time I did have a scar. That lasted several years. And I was told you don't get a scar from it, but I did. And yeah, that was it. I saw it with my own eyes.
And so, when I met Homer, he used to be pretty freaked out about that experience. And I didn't know why, because he didn't really want to talk about it. He mentioned that he had something, but he stayed away from really talking about it. So I didn't press him about it, because I could tell that it wasn't something he wanted to go into. He's a lot more easygoing about talking about it now. So I don't know what. Maybe you can explain why.
Yeah, I'll explain.
Okay.
But I'll also answer a few of the questions I see. What about germs? I was in the Philippines. We didn't care about germs.
Right.
It was like we were just like in some room out in the open. It looked like a church, but it wasn't a church. Like, it was just like right there in the corner. And was it real blood? That's a good question, because I did see, stuff that looked like blood, but it disappeared fast. So I thought, I guess it's etheric blood. Because I even looked at I wore a blue shirt, and in the beginning it was stained, but then it kind of disappeared. I was like, oh, okay, I don't need to dry clean.
No, they don't use a knife, Allison. They use their hands. They stick
use
their
their
hands
hand.
in you.
So now I had a pleasant, other than that, I had a pleasant experience with the family, and maybe the daughters may be watching the show. Hello. So hi. But also, there are other psychic surgeons out there all around the Philippines. Some of the ones I've met weren't as they weren't very spiritual. I mean, in my opinion, from what I know now, they one of them was just taking my energy like an energy vampire when I was in Manila, and he was talking to the other psychic surgeon, and he was like, "Yeah, I need a little boost of energy, and I got Homer's energy." He
Wow.
said it just like that.
That is classic vampire, energy
And
vampire.
at that time,
Yeah.
I mean, if I was like who I am now, I would not put up with that.
Oh, hell no.
Oh no way!
Well,
But I just let it go.
first of all, you would know because you would have felt it.
Yeah,
And second of all, you would have known what to do. That's
exactly.
just totally crossing boundaries. That is
And
not
also,
okay.
there's like a level of respect too. If someone is older, there's a level of respect. And this psychic surgeon was older. So, in a way, it was like hard for me to say, hey, that's not right. And you shouldn't be doing that. So, there was that part of me too that held back. And it's kind of like an elder saying, well, I need this, so I'm going to take it
Right.
I don't need to ask you. Kind of like
Also,
that.
yeah, so it is a cultural thing, but also retaliation. You never know what level somebody's at and that they might get weird. And
Yeah.
also, I just want to preface, I don't know, because I wasn't at Homer's experience, but I do want to say that always use discernment because there's always going to be things that are not really authentic.
Mhm.
And so, that's with anything. And, people will say, well, do something for you, but they're just, playing a game. So I'm not saying that's what happened with Homer. I wasn't
Mhm.
there, but I just want you to know that you have to use discernment, use your intuition, and really do your research if you were going to do something like that.
Yeah, and back then I was pretty much just wide-eyed and like, I'll do it without any level of discernment. And I just remember just now why I was there too. They were having a psychic, was it conference? Yeah, it was being held in Manila, and there were other psychics too that were invited. And I guess I represented the U.S. Um, and just I attended.
Yeah. Anita said, I have heard of some fake psychic surgeons using chicken blood.
Yep, I heard of that
Classic.
too. Yep.
And livers and those
Hmm.
kind of things. They'll pull that out and say, oh, and people go, well, they had this thing and it looked like an organ. And so,
Yep.
yes, I mean, absolutely.
Even baby chickens.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
Baby
that's what I
chick.
was on the lookout for when I was having it done. Like I was
But,
really,
and you know what? If you had your eyes closed at any time,
Never close your eyes.
you never close your eyes. If people tell you to close your eyes, not like if you're doing a meditation or something like that, but if you're getting something done like that, you don't ever close your eyes. If people are saying that they're getting rid of some bad energies and bring money and close your eyes, don't ever close your eyes and don't ever
yeah.
expect to get your money back either. So you close your eyes and that's when the trickery happens. So I'm not saying that happened, Homer, but we don't know either way. We don't know.
Well, the good thing is every time someone would tell me, and not just with that incident, but anytime someone would tell me to close your eye, I wouldn't listen. I would always open my eyes. So even years ago when I took a Reiki class, and I was told close your eyes because you're not just supposed to look at the sacred symbols. I said okay, and then when she got to me, she had me open up my palm and then put the symbol in my hand. But I was peeking. My eye was like open like that.
Okay, so Homer gets in trouble with that peeking stuff. So one time, this is a little off topic, but we were having an angel camp where I would take groups, and we, at this case, we rented this luxury house in the Yucatan, Mexico, and had a 5-day angel camp where I taught them about angels, how to be an angel reader, practitioner, healer, all those things. And so one night we were all like channeling who we were feeling wanted to come through and give a message. And so Homer was like taking a few little pictures to see if, he could catch the energy on the pictures or whatever. And so this one woman started channeling Yogananda. And Homer went to take the picture, and he yelled at Homer. He said, "Stop!
Do not take pictures.
Stop!
Yeah.
Do not take pictures of me." And she was like channeling this like thing, and so Homer like jumped. He was like shocked, right? Because everybody else had their eyes closed, but Homer was like, doing that thing. So Homer's like, oh, so he's freaked out and he shuts his eyes because he just got really heavily reprimanded by Yogananda. And then I'm looking over at Homer because he's sitting across from me, and he has one eye closed and one eye open, still looking at her, trying to see out of that one eye open. And I'm dying as I'm just like, oh my gosh, he is totally with one eye open, peeking at Yogananda. He's going to get clobbered. But he did get a good picture. There was an amazing energy flow. Was that red? It was a
like reddish orange.
Yeah, this big, it was a lot, like flowing down and coming out. But he got that picture before Yogananda went off on him.
And back then we used cameras, which were
like not good camera.
But they were able to take more. Yeah, they could take orbs and, more so than I guess the current cell phones now.
Right.
I think.
So that was like Homer gets himself into trouble with that. And then when we were in India as well, he would do stuff. And the holy man would be like, wait, what are you doing? And Homer would be like trying to do something without them noticing, and they'd be like looking at him going, what? Wait, show that to me. And Homer's like, no. And they're like, yeah, show that to me. Like, it was like, oh my gosh, Homer. Anyway, so that's another story.
But yeah, I always peek. I always have my eyes open when people tell me not to do.
Yeah. Okay, so why don't you go to the next, relate now to a very past ancient.
Okay, so this is another lifetime. Very long ago, I would say it was BC, in ancient Egypt, in one of my Egyptian lifetimes. And I've had many Egyptian lifetimes, but this is one of them that I thought of because I even wrote down the notes years ago, because it's related to psychic surgery. So back in that time in ancient Egypt, I was doing psychic surgery.
And ancient Egypt was known for their medical...
Their healing. I mean, you see it all over
the healing, but also like medicine, like they had tools. Like if you go to the temples, you will see the tools that they use for surgery and things like that. But they were also very spiritual, and they were doing like magic, and it was a normal practice for them. Okay, go ahead, Homer.
So, and then kind of like tying it in with the Philippines. So in the Philippines, there was that one that I mentioned, he puts his physical hand in your body and then extracts whatever it is to take it out. But in that Egyptian life, I did not use my physical hand. I used my etheric hand to do the work. Maybe my hand was over the area that needed to be worked on, but I did not need to go in physically and pull something out. All my work was done mentally.
Right.
On the thought. And this goes back to, from what I remember, and I wrote down my notes from years ago, that knowledge came from Atlantis. We had done that. So in that lifetime, I was able to do psychic surgery work, but I was a walk-in. And I don't know if you want to talk about walk-in, Cindy.
Well, we're going to do a show on walk-ins, but that's basically when your soul and another soul have a contract, an agreement that you're going to leave your body at a certain age or point, and they're going to trade souls so that they're going to come into your body. So sometimes souls want to experience life after 35 or after 5 or 60. They don't want to go through the whole evolution. Some souls only want to come in and die before they're born. some souls, just and some souls want to leave at a certain point, but they make the agreement that another soul can take their body. So yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
My lifetime, my name back then was Har Tetikov. So that was my Egyptian name at that time. So I was born into, that body. Um, but the soul that was residing in that body, the soul was intuitive. It was an intuitive person, but I didn't walk in until adulthood. So as a galactic soul, I didn't walk in into until adulthood for that body. So even though that original soul was intuitive and psychic, it just did not. It wasn't able to handle what I was able to handle as a walk-in soul, as a replacement. So once I did that, the body, my soul harmonized, and the work I did was amazing.
So when did you remember that lifetime?
This was one of my university professors. She is an alien like me, in the human body. She helped open a side of me, kind of lifted the amnesia. And she would teach me things, and little by little, it would open me up to certain things. And that was one of the lifetimes that I
So
was able to tap into.
So that's before Homer went to Egypt. And so I remember the first time that we went to Egypt, we've led many spiritual journeys there. I can't even count how many at this point. But the first one that we did together, we went to the Cairo Museum, which has endless, so many artifacts. And I remember walking down the first kind of area when we got in, and there's huge statues. So they're so big that you're, eye level with the feet. And I remember looking at the feet and going, "Oh my gosh, Homer, he has your feet. These are your feet." And I'm like, "Homer, look, these are your feet." And so then I look up at the statue, and he totally looks like Homer, like the
Yeah.
features, the body, the way he's standing, the way he posed, everything. I'm getting chills. I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my gosh, this looks like you. Oh my
Yeah, I mean,
goodness."
first time I saw that statue, it was very emotional to me because I already came there with this knowledge of, Hartetikov. Well, even my other Egyptian lifetimes, it came along. Other, memories were coming along, but the Hartetikov memory came back just by looking at that statue. And I don't know, did I get emotional? Was I crying?
I don't remember you crying. I was like
I was
tripping
kind of
out. Like I
also,
was just like calling him over. Like I just couldn't believe
yeah.
it. And then I mean, it was just so crazy that
But the description of that's exactly how I look because the notes that I took down about this lifetime back then, I said it looks exactly like me, like who I am now, but the head is a bit bigger and the forehead is bigger, and my eyes were more, what did I put? Let's see,
almond.
almond. So yeah, we're in the eyes. I had a slight slant in the eyes, and I wore heavy dark eyeliner, which is common in Egypt. And my ears were bigger, and my forehead protruded in the front with a slant, and my head was always shaved.
And those feet are like so
Bigfoot.
big and wide. And you know why I lived in Egypt for a while because I love Egypt and whatever. I'd been going every year and everything. And finally, I lived in Aswan for a while. And those feet are like that because they can walk through the Sahara sand so easy, where I will be struggling to get up a hill of sand. And they just are like, bong, 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 like they're just like camels going up there.
Yeah, and that statue exactly like what I look like now. I mean, if I don't smile,
Right.
I'm like, that's me.
And if he
That's
poses,
that.
if he does that pose, and if you followed Homer, he poses a
Yeah,
lot.
I do that pose.
He's a poser, and he looks exactly like that. Also, I just want to interject here also about this part of Egypt is, some of this stuff is still alive in little pockets of Egypt, especially, I have a lot of friends and family that live in the villages that are the Nubians, who are the indigenous Egyptians. So I spent a lot of time in the villages along the Nile. I lived on the Nile, but I spent a lot of time in the villages. And they all knew me more. I didn't know as many of them as they knew me, but I got to hear all these stories of how they know about the tombs, and there's tombs underneath where they live, and things that happen if you break into a tomb, and all these things. But also still the kind of the magic that they still harness, the things they still do. The Nile people, there's people that actually live under the water, and they'll come out of the water, and then they'll just like live like a normal person, and then they'll just go back in the water when they go back in the water, like that's a normal thing. We even got a picture once of someone, a underwater person. It's so clear, you just can't even deny it. But
I think their names are Asame Adame or something like that.
also, I want to say that there is a man that is, living in the villages there. There's a lot of villages all together. Well, they're everywhere, but then there's one area where there's a lot of villages, one after the other. Thousands of people. They're not little villages. And this man knows when someone's going to die. And then he's the one that comes when you do die to do like the ceremony and stuff. So I know my good friend from there said, you never wanted to see him come in your way because the people would get scared and run if they saw him, like, oh, don't come near me, because that means like this is going to be my time. And, he's really concerned at this point because this man is getting older, and there's no one that he is there to take this man's place. And someone really needs to step up into that. So, so they still do have these cultures and traditions.
Yeah, the ancient teachings. It's
And
all
healing.
over the world.
And healings. They're still doing those kind of healings as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you finished with that? Those three things?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So let's go to more of the present. And Alma, I'd love for you to share that story you wanted to share, because I think it's very interesting. So what kind of psychic surgery were you doing, and what did you find, and how did that all go?
Well, the most recent one was about the lady I was telling you, the one in the store, the psychic store. I went in there to connect. I wanted to connect, let me see this store. Maybe I could connect with people here and get a reading and get to know the owner. So I went in there, and I noticed she had a bandana on her head, and I didn't think much of it. I just noticed that she probably shaved her head. And I don't know, I kind of sensed that she was sick, that something was up, but I didn't want to, say anything, or so, just the thought, like maybe she has cancer. And so when I was talking to her of what I did and light activation and the things that we do with, energy healing, and so she says, oh, could you do something for me? Can you do for me? And I said, yeah, sure. So I stood up and I started scanning her head. That was the first thing that I just went for it. And I started seeing like slugs in there, like black slugs in the brain. They were showing me, that's what they were showing me. And so right away I felt like, okay, I need to tell her, and I told her, I'm seeing some slugs in your brain, like there's like worms, like, they're in there, and they need to be removed. And she says, you probably thought that I had cancer because I'm wearing the bandana. And I said, no, maybe, I don't know. And, and then she said, the reason why I'm wearing it is because I shaved my hair off because I felt like I had worms in my head.
Oh,
yeah, she said that she felt like they were moving in her brain, and so she went crazy and shaved her hair off. And then I said, you know, what's going on is that they're us as healers and readers, you know, psychics. We also help people, but there's people that try to, like, they blame their stuff on you, and they'll get mad at you, and they'll do things, and they'll send, you know, bad energy to you, like, and there's people that really do bad things like that, you know. So
Mhm.
I said, you need to protect yourself. And right now, what I could do for you is, you know, use light activation. The thing, what I do is, and I'm going to help you remove it. So I was able to go in there and start removing those slugs with light, you know, with light activation frequency. So I was seeing those slugs being pulled out, and she did feel better, and she was really happy, and she wanted to me to come back, but I was going to go on a trip. But when I came back, like a couple of weeks later, I went over there and the store was closed. I never got to see her again.
Wow. She must have been blessed with your visit.
I hope so.
No, that's why
I think so.
sometimes we're guided to go to places. We think it's for one thing, or we may not even know why, but we just feel guided to go. You
Yeah.
never know why, you know, how spirit's trying to connect you with another person.
Hmm. Yeah.
And it could be something as small as just making somebody's day by something you're wearing, or in this case, like, that's pretty intense if you are shaving your hair off because you feel like you have worms in your head.
Yeah. She wanted me to come back and do more work on her, you know, but I don't know what happened to her. So,
Too bad you didn't give her your card.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Did you want to share anything else right now?
Yes, I mean, there's been other instances where I've, you know, done psychic surgery, and it's all energy. I don't pull anything out from people. I
Well,
mean,
she doesn't go in and dig their
physical
physical
stuff,
guts out.
no
Yeah.
guts, no blood, but I get the vision. I see it in my third eye, so I get to see things that are being pulled out, and I can feel it. Sometimes I just feel it even in on me, and then I'll let people know there's something going on in your stomach or something going on in your heart area, and would you like me to help you with that? And you know, I may not heal the person completely because it's all up to you. It's all, you know, it's what you believe, or you know, you have to be part of it. You know, it's not
Right.
like I'm gonna do the work.
Right.
I'm just a vessel. So I'm just there, and I like to help people, and if they allow me to, I'll do it. And then they have to do the work, you know,
Right.
because things like that just tend to come back because
Right. Because they're there for a reason. They were
yeah,
created by you for a reason. So
yeah,
you have to be willing to help yourself uncreate the way you think or feel or believe or any of those things. So if you're not part of the solution, you're not going to have the solution because the
right.
issue is yours. It's not, if you have the issue, it's there for a reason.
And
So
I'm glad you brought that up too, because when we do our work, we extract things, but yeah, we are not putting our physical hands in anyone. We
right.
don't even touch
We
anyone.
don't even touch people with our work.
Yeah, and we are not having blood spill all over like that movie
No.
Carrie. But yeah,
Right. And we don't need to prove anything.
exactly.
I mean, we do our work. We're good at what we do. We know what we do works. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it. And
And we have so much fun doing it.
yeah,
And
so
joy.
we work with people who align with it, resonate with it, and
Mhm.
they have amazing progresses. And the more that they commit to, you know, continuing their journey and working on things, because there's always something next, it gets better and better.
Another
So,
layer.
and that's why, you know, how we're talking about, you know, Homer's situation with the ancient Egypt, and then my situation living among the ancient people of Egypt as well. You know, that's another reason why we do these spiritual journeys and connect with the indigenous people where we go and really, you know, get immersed in their cultures and their ceremonies and their traditions, so we can understand and be a part of that vibrational dimension. And it awakens things in us, like we start remembering things about ourselves, like, oh my goodness, this is why I love mixing oils and doing essences, and this is why I did that, and this is why I feel this way. And it just opens more doors into your soul, more and more and more. And so that's why these spiritual journeys are really important to us, not only to release things that are blocking us at the time, but to get the deeper knowledge of who we are, and then take ourselves even further with our knowledge and understanding of who we are. And a lot of times we find out why we're doing a lot of things that we did in the past and how it relates now. That's why I was asking Homer when he was describing the 3 different situations with the different psychic surgeries, how they connected, because usually you come full circle on things, and then you get a greater awareness, like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that was a step, because I would have that step, or I didn't know that I was doing that back then. And that's why I'm kind of checking this out now. So yeah. Okay, so I wanted to talk about some, I mean, obviously we all of these situations that we're talking about here, you know, we've all had some sort of experiences, but we're trying to give you different aspects to look at. One thing that I have commonly worked on, not that I really wanted to, but I somehow became, one of my niches is to work on people who have entities, and that's not my favorite thing to do. But, you know, if you have one, it's not fun, and you get pretty desperate and you want help. But another one is implants. So in particular, like alien implants. That's something that I'll not often, but something that I find sometimes in people. It usually it can look different, but I've taken out a lot of things like that. One time I was at this angel conference or class or something. It's a long time ago. And my friend, she kept having these bad headaches, and her neck kept hurting and hurting. And she said it had been bothering her for a long time. So I just started doing a little healing and looking there. And I was like, oh, you have an implant. Do you want that out? And she's like, yes. And I went in, and it was right back behind her neck. And it was a square, energetic, square looking metal box. That's typically how I see them.
Yeah, I see it too that way.
And when I pulled it out, instantly her headache was gone. Her neck wasn't hurting anymore. So she had gotten that, who knows when, but I know where she was living in Canada. She would often tell me she would be exposed to people who were aliens living among us. And we would talk about that. And it was fascinating to me, because that's when I really found out, like, a lot of times you can identify these kind of people by seeing their eyes look black. I actually have a picture that I used a filter on my Instagram from years back, and my eyes are just big and black, and that is exactly what it looks like. And so that's why I posted that picture, not to I mean, I thought it was cool just because I was like, oh, the black eyes. So I know I know that when I see people like that, I'm just like, oh, that's one of those people. So somehow she got implanted with that. And again, you know, when I was talking, I don't remember what show it was, but talking about the guy I was with, and the aliens were drilling in the top of his head for a long time. You know, it's an agreement. You agreed to that somewhere, whether it was before you were born or somewhere, you know, sometime in your existence, you agreed to that, because they can't just come in and start doing that. A lot of times those implants are there to monitor you, to get information. And sometimes it could be to control you. So it's for all different reasons.
Well, I got one from someone too, and that implant was there because, of course, he didn't remember, but they were actually his people from somewhere. And it wasn't meant to cause this person discomfort. It was just meant to, like what you said, monitor, um, get information. So yeah, I pulled one out too. It looked rectangular with little, and I drew a little sketch. Rectangular with all these cords
Yeah.
going to different places, like to the
Yeah.
first chakra,
And sometimes those
all of
things
that.
are there and they just get left behind, like they're not even active anymore. But because it's foreign to your body, it could cause discomfort. So sometimes they've used it and they're done. Sometimes they're using it and they're using it. So yeah, you know what? Anything that seems like it's a consistent pain that never seems to go away, I would, definitely look into finding out if there was some, either it could be an energetic cord from someone, because those can cause that. It could be an implant. It could be just something that you picked up, an entity. It could be all kinds of different things, but it's not normal for some sort of pain or discomfort just to be there for no reason and to be prolonged. It could be a mental thought or an emotional discomfort too that's creating it. So,
And going by what you said earlier, Cindy, about at one point there was an agreement for it to happen, and at some point, whether in this life or even before that, um, and the client I had at the time, he said, "Yeah, but I don't recall even agreeing to that." I said, "Well, this felt very far and very old, and even the technology that I sense." I said, "Even for that race, that is like old school technology. It was like looking at an old phone,
right.
from like the 1920s, compare it to a cell phone."
And of course, a lot of times it's not going to be like you remember saying it was okay.
I know, because he said,
Otherwise,
"I
you
didn't."
probably would have not said it was okay.
Yeah, and I said, "Yeah, these orange ones, they were orange people, by the way. They know you. You're one of them." And actually, before he came in the room, because I had an in-person session, I saw them starting to appear etherically, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna have an audience." So what I did was I created etheric bleachers for them to watch, because they were very curious about me. They said, "What is going on? We see a human, but he is very galactic. It's like he's one of our older ones. What's he doing here as a human?" So they were just curious and they just wanted to watch, and yeah. That
Okay,
was kind
so
of a
I'm
side note.
seeing a lot of awesome comments in the chat, and I really appreciate you guys commenting. We're not going to be able to read all of them, but I just see Anita said, "I just read about a person who had these headaches, and it was embryos of tapeworms." Definitely, and remember, head health, brain health, and gut health are directly related. So if you have tapeworms in any areas, or parasites in any areas, if it's parasites or tapeworms or eating and feeding off of your gut, your brain's being feeded. It's going to reflect your brain feeling fed off. Not to say that you'd have them in your head too directly, but it would have a direct correlation. Smitha says, as a person working with people with conditions such as cancer, sometimes I feel the desperate urge to help them like this. It's amazing the day I can do that to help them. Yeah, we're planted around places to help people. And you know what? Maybe it's not about you feeling like you're not able and getting chills. So listen to this message. It's not about sometimes maybe being the healing practitioner for them. It might be, but maybe it's just offering somebody some feeling safe, like if they're really scared and you can say, you know what, everything's going to be okay, or just do your best to offer them a perspective that they can hold on to that will help them, and people really just want to know that they're going to be okay. And maybe you can't tell someone that they're going to be okay, but help them be okay in that moment in some way. That goes a long way. Anita says, I once kissed my ex-boyfriend's. Oh, I missed it. I missed it. I lost it. It jumped out of my ex-boyfriend's eyelid because there was a painful growth, a huge tumor, and a few minutes later it was gone. So Anita's kisses are powerful. Watch out.
Wow. Allison has a good question. Why would we agree to implants?
Well, maybe you're helping to give information. Maybe you were from that planet. Maybe you were from those aliens.
It's kind of like a diplomat, you know, when they are being sent to another country, get some information. Now you come back and you do a debriefing on the information. It's kind of like that.
Or
I mean,
maybe,
yeah, it could be.
Maybe you have a karmic debt to pay.
Yep.
It can be many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you needed to learn from it. Okay, so what I would like you guys to do now is we're going to do some mini healing readings, and the focus, we always have a focus, as you know, is we are going to look at emotions that have been in your DNA that have been impacting your life, or anything that comes up that's relevant. But that's what we are setting the intention for, is the emotions that have been in your DNA that have been impacting your life. And you know what? Emotions are such an amazing gift. And we're humans, and we're here to experience emotions, all the way from the lowest emotion to the highest emotions. They have a place. Some people think that anger is a bad thing. It can be, but it's also a good thing. When someone has anger, they have a lot of passion. I know that when I've made declarations from a place of anger and I'm really surging with passion, that thing usually falls into place really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you can be really passionate about your emotion and expressing it, especially for manifestation, that will boost your manifestation faster and further than you can imagine. So what you put into things is what you get out of it. So if you would like one of these readings, say, I'm in, I'm with you, whatever, I'm in, I'm with you, either one of those things. And we will start taking a look in the chat room and seeing where we're guided. And then we'll tune into your DNA and see what emotions are coming up that have impacted your life and give you information on that. This is really good stuff because remember, DNA is who you are. It's who you are and what you were born with and into. And so that includes your whole family line, all the way back. That includes any cultures that involves any traumas, any mindsets, beliefs, problems, good things, bad things, things you know, things you don't know. That's why the DNA healings are priceless, because it's what you don't know that's in your way. How are you going to fix it? How are you going to move it so it'll get out of your way if you don't address it? If you don't know, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So, Alma, since you're here with us this lovely evening, can you just do a little scan into the chat room and see who you're guided to so we can do a little tune in? And also, if you put your name in your request early, feel free to type it in again. It doesn't matter how many times you type it in.
We always go by who we're guided to. It could be top of the list, bottom of the list. But,
right.
Yeah.
Alma's really tuning in.
I know, she's really tuning into that.
I'm feeling Suzette.
Suzette. Okay. All right. So we're going to tune
Happy
in.
Birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Whose birthday is it?
Suzette's birthday.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday, Suzette. Okay. Well, what we're going to do is tune into your DNA level energies. and go in and start seeing what we're seeing. I'll start, and then I'll pass the baton to Alma, and then Homer will finish it up in the rear. Well, that sounded weird. You know what I mean.
That sounded like a.
I said, I'll hold up the head, and Homer will finish up the rear.
That sounded like
really weird.
A psychic surgery technique.
Let's move on.
Oh yeah, okay. Cut the cord to that.
Okay, Suzette, just relax, close your eyes, and we are going to tune in. So we're sending in the frequency. And when we send in the frequency, we're sending in also healing to help support whatever we're getting. So the first thing I'm getting is I'm actually drawn to your DNA on a physical level, because we work on DNA on all different levels. And I'm going right into your head, and I'm hearing made up stories, making up stories, making up stories. They keep repeating it. You're making up stories, and you're causing yourself a lot of heartache and difficulty by making up these stories. You got to get out of your head. And you know what? I know a lot of people have this because I do a lot of these things. The best way to get out of your head, if you're too much in your head, you will be sure to know that you're probably making things worse than they need to be, and that you're probably creating scenarios. You're stacking on to facts and making it bigger and bigger and bigger. And when you do that, you start really causing a lot of troubles for yourself. So when you feel like you're thinking a lot, I want you to remember my words, Suzette, and everyone here. I'm thinking too much. I'm in my head, and I need to stop, because this is going to make whatever I'm afraid of grow. So I'm going to listen to my head and ask myself, what do you need to tell me? Because I'm going to listen to you. Because if you don't listen to your mind, it'll keep pestering you. So give it some space and listen to it. And after you listen to it, say, okay, I'm going to take that into consideration. I really appreciate you sharing that with me. And then you take your consciousness and just take a deep breath, cut the cord to the mind, and go down into your heart, and just put your hand on your heart like that, because that helps you go to that place. And have your eyes closed, and imagine yourself sitting in your heart center, and say, if I was to listen to my heart and my soul, what would I hear myself? What would I hear right now? And if you feel like I'm not hearing anything, I want you to say, if I could hear it, what would I hear? And then think whatever comes to you and believe that. Just take that. And then I want you to take both of the things, what came from your mind and what came from your heart, and choose the one that brings you the most peace. Because if you choose the one that brings you the least peace, you are just going to go in the wrong direction. If you're making your decisions from fear, you're going to go in the wrong direction. You got to make your decisions from what feels best. Even if it doesn't make sense to you, even if it doesn't make sense to other people, it doesn't need to. Okay? You got to go with what feels right to you always, because that's what you need to do. Be brave enough to love yourself and do what you need to do. Okay. Alma.
I was feeling similar like you, and I started feeling like you're taking on too much. I feel like this heaviness in you that like you take too much of something, like too much responsibilities, or you're taking in a lot of things that are not yours, and it's a heavy burden. So you need to walk away from things that are not yours, that don't own other people's problems. It's not you. It has nothing to do with you. You have to come back to you and take care of you. I just feel like there's something also in your heart area where it feels like you have a lot of love, but also you need to shield yourself, because others can sense that and they can take from you, and you just give and give because you're a giver. But remember that you need to be open to receive as well, because just like you give a lot, you deserve a lot for yourself. I just felt like they're telling me that you need to drink more water or you need to be hydrated. Okay, just there's a lot of healing going on in within you. Like you're meeting a lot of healers, you're learning a lot about healing and healing yourself, because it's very important first to heal yourself before you start going out there and healing other people. Obviously, you're going to be healing other people when you're healing yourself. So it's really important for you to focus on yourself, Suzette. And I just feel like there's just so much love that they're sending you. I just feel like right now, like there's a lot of angels around you just hugging you because it's your birthday, but also
Correct.
you deserve it. You just be open for that. Be open for loving, and if you get emotional or you feel sad or you feel these emotions, allow them to just come out. If you need to cry, you need to, bring those emotions out and embrace them because they're beautiful. They're a part of you, and it is part of your healing. And I just feel like you need to rest too and allow yourself to rest because a lot of times I feel like you're just tired and you're not really paying attention to that, and you deserve it. Don't judge yourself for wanting to rest. Don't judge yourself for wanting to have things, good things for you. you know you
Right.
just feel I feel like you just need to embrace yourself and go for things that are going to make you happy, and go on a trip or go out in nature, do something good for yourself. You deserve it you know
Right. Be willing to take your time off from worrying.
yeah.
Okay, Homer?
Yeah, I got similar messages, really about self-love, really find that beauty within, the power that you have within, the divine power. Um, and you come from a place of love and you really give a lot. But what I was hearing was as much as you give to others, you can do the same for yourself too. Find that balance. It's like you give a lot for others, but also give the same amount of love and care that you have for others for yourself as well. And also, like what Cindy and Alma said, nurture yourself because I got that too. Um, and the healing team was showing me that when you have a focus, that's when you are very passionate, and that's when you are in your power, and you do sway more towards appreciating the light within. So whatever you're passionate about, just tap into that again, um, or do more of it if you're not already doing it. Um, let's see. Yeah, they were showing me your energy can be everywhere. So just ground yourself, be more focused, just bring in your energy, and it'll help you connect more.
So I want to remind you, Suzette, and everyone else, these are DNA readings. So that means that what you are experiencing is something that came up through your family line. So it wasn't even yours to begin with. You just took it and ran with it. So sometimes it's easier to start letting things go when you can say, "What? You mean I was born with this? Like I don't have to do this?" Oh, came from someone else. Well, I don't want to carry this on. That's kind of like when you get older and you go, my parents always told me this, but I don't really believe that anymore. I did because I thought they were right, but now that I can think for myself, I don't agree. So that might help you a little. So thank you, Suzette. And we're going to move on because we want to make sure to get to as many as we can here. Homer, why don't you go ahead and see who you're drawn to?
Let's see. I did see a name that. How about Tina Brewer?
Okay. I didn't even see that person. Oh, okay. I see it
Oh,
now.
more towards the middle, I guess.
All right. Well, I just see some little emoticons. So hopefully she said she wanted one. Did she?
She did say I'm in.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't see that
Okay,
one. I
I
just
guess
wanted to make
that's
sure.
yep.
I don't want to read anyone that didn't ask for it. Okay. So same thing. I'll start, then Alma and Homer will come in after that. So Tina, let me tap in and see what I'm seeing. So as I go in again, I'm brought to the physical brain area within the DNA, and I'm seeing a lot of, it's like a computerized movements going on. And I'm hearing checks and balances, always thinking, always trying to decide, trying to figure out the best way. But sometimes when you do that, you either don't make a decision, and not making a decision is a decision, by the way. It's a delay tactic, and it is a decision. And sometimes you just have to beat something till it's dead, and until you'll, either just be so sick of thinking about it and you don't make a decision. So here we keep having this not making a decision thing, but that you're very calculated, and you need to make sure. It's like you need to make sure that what you're going to decide is right. And I wanted to tell you and everyone that life is never about being completely sure. It's about the unknown. It's about experiencing new things. It's about being brave enough to, take those leaps of faith and run with it. And also, we'll never get the next step. We'll never get the next thing open to us if we never take a step forward. If we keep staying in the same place, we just keep staying in the same place. We don't make any movement. We've got to be willing to start moving, and we have to move before the universe moves with us. We always have to take the lead. So if you're not taking the lead and you're not making decisions, and you're, making all these reasons of why you're not making decisions, the universe is just going to mimic that, not make moves, not help you. It's not going to help you make a decision, because you're saying, you're taking the lead, so it can't. And you get very stuck in that whole systematic thing in the brain. So this is working against you. Again, I would give you the same easy process that I shared with Suzette. We're asking your mind, what do you think? Let it tell you, because you're calculating everything in there. But then you cut it off after you listen to it, and put your hand on your heart and say, what would I hear if I was listening to my heart? And being willing to take these little risks. I mean, you can start with, you know what, today I'm going to go to where I'm going in a different route. And I'm going to take the risk that, it'll be that easy. It can start with little things, but you got to start kicking it up to bigger things to help support yourself in your life. Alma?
Tina, I'm scanning you, and what I'm getting right now is that you need to let go of fear. That's what's blocking you. Yes, embrace it, see where it's coming from. Why is it resurfacing? Why are you so afraid? But the thing that's going to keep you down. And another thing is I'm getting for you right now is that you are abundant. So you need to trust in yourself. You need to trust that you are powerful and you're very abundant. I'm feeling that you're also healing your heart. So I don't know if we're all going through heart things here, but it's more about, it may be even past life. If you believe in past lives, it may be something about a past life where I'm kind of feeling there's, I don't know, I'm getting contracts, like contracts from the past that you're still holding on to something from the past. I don't know. It's not very clear. They're not really showing me up, for me to be more specific about it. But what I'm getting is that let it cut the cords, and trust in yourself and know that you're right now. Oh, another thing is I'm getting right now with the heart is showing. They're showing me the heart again, and they're telling me, you. I don't know if you're looking for soulmate or you're thinking about soulmate or twin flame or something, or a relationship, but it feels to me like you need to really focus on you right now instead of someone else or trying to get someone else or trying to please anybody. Right now, you need to just empower yourself and show love for you, because soulmates, twin flames, it all starts right here within you. This is who you need to love first and fall in love with is yourself before you can even have anybody into your life and fall in love with you. Okay, that's a big lesson, for everybody, is that You need to be with you and love yourself. And when you do that, you're going to attract the right person into your life. If you already have the person and you're okay with that, then there's still something going on within your heart in loving you. Okay. I see your picture. You have little kids there, so I'm sure you feel a lot of love, and you can embrace that. But you need to go in there and love yourself as well. Um, I'm just, you clear your energy. I'm seeing a lot of, I don't know if attachments. So right now, just kind of like take a deep breath and just release all those attachments. I don't know if you picked that up, Cindy, but it just felt like there's like
I
other.
couldn't get past the brain.
Okay. So that's what I'm getting. So just, work on that a little bit. It's not hard. It's easy,
Cutting cords.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah, and on my YouTube channel, if you guys look up my name, Cindy Eyler, on YouTube, I have a playlist on law of attraction and manifesting, which has a lot of good videos about cord cutting. It's not just about manifesting, it's about getting your energy set in a good, stable way so you can manifest better. So it would have to do with cord cutting, clearing your energy, mindsets,
It would be
all
perfect
those
for
kind
her.
of things. Also, I have another playlist of things like soul contracts and healing and things like that. So I have a lot of
There you have the tools.
really good information there. Okay, Homer.
So I got similar things too, but guided to different parts of the body. So I got third chakra and fourth chakra and the legs. So third chakra, of course, is self empowerment, self confidence, and so forth. And of course, heart chakra is emotion. But what and also a connection to the legs. And what I was getting was like a delay tactic or like a procrastination, like kind of delaying it because there's, I don't know, a little bit of the fear that Alma mentioned, and Cindy too. So I was getting that stagnation in the legs too. But with the procrastination, every time there's a delay, or every time the delay gets longer and longer, it's leading to like a deeper pain, deeper inner pain. And this I'm getting on the DNA level. So I'm not sure if your ancestors or people in your family had similar patterns, but like an inner pain, which would lead to, of course, a discomfort, and then it then leads to uh, lower self-confidence, and then also to depression. So that's what I was getting with that. And then with the legs, like delaying, not moving forward with it. So, and this is what I was hearing to counter that is to choose self-discipline and start living in the present, and then and then you won't feel stuck to the past or future. Just live in the present, and things will fall the way they will fall. Because what's the saying? If you're depressed, you're stuck in the past. If you're anxious, you're stuck in the future. So stay in the present and just find that self-discipline to push yourself to keep doing whatever it is that you're delaying. Just even make it small. Do little by little with whatever it is.
Yeah, you
That's
got
what
to
I got.
start making some moves.
Yep,
Okay,
making moves.
thank you. Cutting the cord to that. I am going to choose Reverend Sharon. And so we are going to ask you to just relax, take a nice deep breath. And as I say that to you, I just see your crown chakra just beautifully start spinning. And I'm going in. And I'm seeing quite a good flow going on in your DNA energies on this level. I'm looking both on the inside the body and then outside in the aura, in the emotional, mental, and spiritual levels. And I'm being drawn to the mental level and some of the emotional level on the outer bodies in the aura. And they said this is where you get tripped up. Sometimes you let your emotions get in the way of decisions you have to make. Then I'm hearing you're too nice, and you've got to put some boundaries to, I mean, it's good to be compassionate, it's good to be nice, but not when it starts to deplete you or get in the way of progress you need to make, or maybe even get in the way of giving somebody else the attention that it's more needed somewhere else. So I'm seeing that it distracts you off of your focus and your path. So don't let yourself get too bogged down. So don't let your emotions take over. I mean, you know, everybody else, I'm saying, don't let your mind take over and go to your heart, which is your emotions. But for you, it's like, don't let your emotions overdo and take over what needs to be done. So yours is the opposite. And so you can still be compassionate. And what I'm hearing the message for you is sometimes the boundaries are exactly what the person needs. So often when people aren't able to accept the help, accept the extra attention, they are not able to accept it. So they're just not going to be able to absorb that and really do anything with it. Sometimes they just need a boundary, and sometimes they just need to be cut off. That's what I'm hearing specifically for you. So know what is what and be okay with that. Know that whatever is really coming to you as the right thing to do, even if it feels hard, but you know it's true, know that you're doing them a favor by doing that and executing in that way, not executing what needs to happen, the boundary, the you know, the cutting off, whatever it is. Okay, Alma.
Um, I'm feeling balance here. Like there's a need for balance. It's like Cindy said. I do feel this person that you are is very compassionate, very loving, and very giving. But you have to balance things out a little because otherwise the scale's going to be tipped, a little too much to giving. It feels to me like um, they're telling me you're going to be busy. Either there's going to be people coming towards you, wanting your energy, and you're very giving. So please, you know, um, make sure that you only take as much as you are able to, and not overdo it to yourself. Because it feels like you're you want to help everybody that comes to you, even like a little stray cat or a little stray dog. You want to help everyone, and that's loving, that's very beautiful. Yet again, you are very important. You need to take care of you and balance things out. That's the big word right there, balance. Okay, don't give too much of yourself. Otherwise you'll be draining. You will be to help others. You need to help you first. Okay, it's just set boundaries is what I'm getting as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Homer.
Yeah, so I was getting that. I mean, you are a healer, but more in the way of like you're able to counsel people. Like you connect with people from the heart. You're and helping them heal that way. But also, yeah, it's like just because you're on a spiritual path, you don't have to be a doormat. Be okay to say no if you have to. And what I wrote down was like you're on the path to learning how to stand up for yourself. It's okay to stand up for yourself, honor yourself, and be okay with just setting boundaries, like what Cindy and Alma said, and just not allowing. I mean, I know you love to help a lot of people, but also find a balance with that. You can help people, but also know how to separate their energy from your energy. And
Right.
yeah,
Because
there you
people
go.
will then try to attach to you, and then they start draining your energy, and yeah, it just takes a whole different
And
life.
we're actually going to talk about that in a future show about
Yes,
energy vampires.
yes, we are.
I think the night before Halloween. Because
Yeah,
I thought, yeah, vampires,
energy vampires, and what was the other thing?
ghouls
It
and goblins.
No, it was energy vampires and something else. Anyway, okay.
Werewolves. Yeah.
So, Alma, do you want to pick someone?
Oh, thank you, Reverend.
Let's see.
Hello, Biz.
Biz, we need you next Friday, Biz and Clock. We're going to do ayahuasca talk. So put it on your calendar. I just haven't had a chance to get a hold of you.
But we're not going to be on ayahuasca when we do that. We're going to just talk.
Who knows?
Oh, yeah,
Anyway.
right.
Yeah, next
It'll be a different show.
Next time we go to Peru and we're all on ayahuasca, we'll broadcast from the Amazon jungle. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Alma, did you find someone?
Delia Flores.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's do this. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to keep up with everything at the same time. Okay, Delia. Let's just relax. And as I'm going into the DNA energies, I'm seeing the energy going and then having a little bit of a stop and then going and having a bit of a stop and going, having a bit of stop. So it's like intermittence keeps happening. So it's like you get on your way and then something stops you and you drop. And then you get on your way again and then something stops you and the energy drops. And then you get on your way. So it's like you go and then you stop and then you go and then you stop. And what I'm hearing is that causes you things to be more tiring, because every time you have to get up and go again, it's like you have to bring your energy back again to keep going again. So you're like starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping. That takes a lot of energy. It would be like if you went to drive your car and you stopped at a stop sign and you turned off your car and then you turned it on and then you made a turn and somebody was crossing, so you had to stop for a minute and you turned off your car and then you turned it back on to go down to the next stoplight and had to turn off your car. It's like that. It's like very tiring and monotonous to do that. So what I'm hearing is make a decision and follow it through. And you will get guidance that will help you through it. Even if it seems like you're walking through mud, like I'm seeing you walking through mud or dirty water and you're not really sure, just keep your focus on where you're heading. And as long as you're making movement, even through the slow times, even through the hard times, you'll get the next move. I'm getting chills. So this is something that's really important for you to hear and listen to. There's so much, they're telling me there's so much ahead for you, but the stopping and starting keeps you from what you really want. It keeps you from getting what you want. And it makes you very frustrated and makes it seem like what you want's not coming. And you don't know what more you need to do. And you're putting all this work into it, but it's just not coming. And it just becomes this big frustrating thing and it stops you again. So don't let the emotions stop you. Get on your game and stay on the game. And you know what? I'm getting chills. We all experience that. Like, I've been doing healing for, I don't know, over 20 years. I don't know. I mean, consciously doing it. I've been doing it all my life, but when I actually just started to do it, 25 years. Alma's been doing it for a long time. Homer's been doing it for a long time. We had our rough goes too. We had those times where we would have to like just, we'd be so frustrated, but you just have to keep picking up and keep going. You have to keep trusting. You have to keep your eye on the target on what is your heart calling you to do and follow through and just keep going. So you get to where you want to go. You get the resources you need and you meet the people you need to meet. So no more stopping and going. Make a decision. And well, I like to say this, pick a horse and ride it. Don't get off and get on another horse. Don't get off and take a break. Pick the horse, ride it, even through the water, through the mountains, through the valleys, through anything, any weather, just like the mail person. They have to deliver mail through anything, any season you're going through in your life. I'm not talking about the seasons of the weather. I'm talking about your seasons of up and down and everything in between. Just keep going. You can get there because you expend a lot of energy not getting there. If you used all that energy not getting there to get there, it'd be a lot easier. Alma?
Focus. Okay. So I'm feeling that you need to stay on track on what you want, on your goals. Like I feel like you could get distracted by other people and also discouraged from other people. So stay focused on what I feel like you can you can do healing work. You can do great healing work. You're an artist also. I feel like you're connected with art. If you connect with something with your hands, like you're good at creating things, but you need to stay focused so they could, and don't give up. When you see things that are not working out, you get discouraged. You need to block that out and just stay focused on what you want to do. And when things are not working out, don't give up. Keep going, because I just see this gate opening up for you, and it has it's like a rainbow. It just opens up for you. There's just something there for you that you just gotta stick to it. You need to be more clear, and stick with it. Don't let the past or other people distract you. They're telling me you need to allow yourself to get your feet wet. Okay. And whenever you feel stuck, just take a step out and just know that, it's just other people or other things that are distracting you. Don't let other people distract you.
Nice. Homer?
Yep, I got similar things. I was led to the legs and the bottom of the feet. So the chakras at the bottom of the feet. Yeah, I was feeling the heaviness and just not like going somewhere, but yeah, not as focused as you could be. Like it's there, but that hesitation or sometimes lack of trust or discouragement that Cindy and Alma talked about. Um, what I was getting was focus and put the energy of what it is that you are going for, even if you don't know what exactly it's going to look like or how it feels, but put the energy and even just imagine and pretend what it is, um, of how it's supposed to feel like, and then everything will follow in place. It'll be like dominoes. It'll just fall into place. Yeah, don't give up. And I was hearing, and don't give up and don't compare, because you are unique and special in your own way, and you already have the gifts. You will develop them um, as they develop, and it'll just be your unique gifts, and it'll be just as wonderful as anyone else's gifts. But you don't need to compare, because what you have already is special and wonderful.
And what you need to do in this world. You are
Yep,
here just the way you need to be.
just be you.
And I just want to add to, so many of you who listen to our different shows, I know a lot of you are natural born healers, whether you believe it or not, or never thought about it. Watch that segment if you didn't see it that says, "Am I a healer?" But if you have been following these shows, we have had a lot of different people on here, all of them light activation practitioners. They have gone through the training, and we're a community, and we stand so strong together. It's a very positive and forward moving experience and community, and we're all about ascension. No matter how we're doing our work, we are all focused on ascension, and we're so strong together. So if that's something that you want in your life, something that gets you excited to think about joining us for our light activation training next summer in July in the Bay Area of San Francisco.
California.
And really think about it, because it really helps to have people that are supportive, that have been where you have been, that can show you the way. You can fast track, you can get to your successes a lot faster and easier, and have a lot of fun. So yeah, we really appreciate all of you joining, and the input in the chat. We really appreciate it. We always go back and do our best to answer people, but the comment section's a little weird after the show's done, and we can't
Yeah, sometimes I see them and
tag
sometimes I don't.
people, and we can't do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So if you want, go back to where you commented and see if we answered. And just know that we do read everything, and we really appreciate you. Also, if you made a comment, especially like on YouTube, we can't respond to those comments, but we will go to the comment section under the video and respond there. So just remember to go back to the video after a few days to see if we've added any notes for you there. And if you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share this, comment, all those things really help us to get out and bring more awareness to people. We have a lot of great shows coming up for you. Homer, do you want to say the ones that we already have on board? Because you're better, and I always up.
Yeah, I just want to add too, we see all your comments, and yeah, maybe we're not able to acknowledge all your comments now, but I just want to let all of you know that we do see your comments, and thank you for your support. And we give love to all of you guys. Yeah.
So the shows.
Okay, so the show. So on the 13th, October 13th, we have walk-ins. Next Friday, the 16th, we have ayahuasca. On the 20th, we have curses. 23rd, another galactic healing night. The 27th, we have topic of suicides. And on the 30th, we have energy vampires, spells, and curses.
Oh, so yeah, that's what it was.
Curses twice.
Spells and curses was what the energy vampire.
So we have curses twice. So maybe, okay.
So we may need to adjust some of the shows since there was a little repeat there. Maybe we have a lot of curses to deal with. What's up, people?
Well, we did. I mean, there is the family line curse, or like generational curse. So yeah, we deal with that too.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, just know that we always come on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and Fridays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. So just know that that's when we pop on. And we look forward to seeing you guys all again soon. And thank you for participating in tonight's segment. We're super appreciative of all of you.
Even if we didn't call on you, we are healing all of you.
Yeah, we send lots of frequencies of healing light to everyone that joins, whether you came live or watched the recording. So thank you. Lots of blessings, peace, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Blessings.